Hello again, it's me. I'm hopping on now to do with my fraction hat on, and I'm going to do a little run through of some of the aspects of fractions. Now, it's quite a complicated process. There's a lot involved in fractions, as some of you who've got children who've been doing them will no doubt know and sympathise. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to focus on what a fraction is, kind of ways that you can maybe help explain it, make it a little bit an easier concept to understand. The difference between a numerator and a denominator, finding a fraction of something, and if I have time, because I'm conscious I don't want to make these videos too long, I will talk about I will also go on to talk about the equivalent fractions, but if I don't manage to do those in this video, I will definitely do them in the next. I reckon this would probably be about 4 videos worth, just if we talk about everything to do with fractions in primary school. So I'm going to turn you around and look at my wonderfully colourful page for just now, and we're going to talk through some things that hopefully will help you with some of the things to say to make it that little bit easier, because it is a pretty tough concept, I think, at first to get. Okay, so first of all, what is a fraction? All right, so what I would say is I have been helping a lot of my children at school one-to-one with this. What I say to them is a fraction is just a fancy mathematical word for an equal piece, an equal slice, an equal part, or an equal bit of something. And anything can be split into pieces, equal pieces, and it's about finding out how many of those pieces are eaten or shaded or taken away. It's the same sort of terminology. So I always get them to imagine maybe a bar of chocolate or a piece of cake or a pizza, and sort of take it from there. But I do like to reiterate to them that a fraction is not a word to be scared of. It is just a mathematical word for an equal piece, slice, or part. Okay, so one of the basic things that they will do when they first start off with a fraction is they might have this kind of thing here. So we'll look at the red one first. And what we're saying to them is, how many equal parts is this red square split into? And obviously the answer is 4. So there are 4 parts altogether. If I shade in this part, how many of the 4 have I shaded in? I've shaded 1 of the 4. Excellent. Now there's an easier way to write that instead of saying 1 of the 4, and that's called a fraction, and we would write it like this, 1 over 4. This means there were 4 parts altogether, and we've eaten, taken away, or shaded 1 of the 4. All right, if we go on to our next shape, this time what we have is it split into 10 equal pieces. And this time we're going to shade or eat or take away 4 of them. So instead of saying we have eaten 4 of the 10 pieces of chocolate, there's an easier way, and it's called a fraction. And we express it by looking at the total number of pieces there was to start with, which was 10. And we ate or took away 4 of them. So that's our fraction, 4 out of 10. Not the best choice of pen there, Hilary, but anyway. Okay, let's move on to our pizza here. All right, our pizza, our cake, doesn't matter, but I think sometimes it's easier to use something like that they can visualize than just an abstract concept of, oh, it's split into 7 pieces and 3 are shaded. Sometimes it's easier for them to imagine. Certainly that's how I learned, so I always try and incorporate that in the way I teach. So let's say this, and you can get them to say what kind of pizza is it. You can get, just talk about it. So here we go. I have eaten 3 of the slices of pizza. How do we express that as a fraction? Well, we look at the total number of pieces there were to begin with, which is 8. The total always goes on the bottom, and we ate 3 of them. Okay, so that's the basics of it. Then you can go back and you can do another little exercise with them. And it's, if I have eaten a quarter or 1/4 of this square of chocolate, how many have I got left? How many are not eaten? How many are not shaded? Whatever terminology, it doesn't matter. Sometimes eaten and taken away or shaded can help them just visualize it. So the answer is I have 3. Now we don't just write that as 3. We're talking about fractions, so we write it as 3 over 4. which means we've got 1 out of 4 that are gone and 3 out of 4 that are left. Now, just for you, you can check and you can show them this if you want to, but don't overcomplicate it at the beginning. 1 and 3 would add up to 4, and if you've got all 4, then you've got a whole. All right, so fractions are equal slices that when they're all there, they create a whole. If some of them are taken away, you don't have a whole pizza, a whole piece of chocolate, a whole lemon cake left. You've only got a fraction or a part of it left. That's one way to explain it. So here we go back to our 4 out of 10 of the bits of chocolate. I'm going for dairy milk. If we have eaten 4, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 10 left. 6 out of the 10 still available. 4 and 6 makes 10, and that was our total number. Okay, here we go on to our pizza. We know there was 8 pieces altogether, and we know there are 3. Now, it doesn't matter at this stage if they're going to count physically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 left, but obviously what we're ideally looking for them to be able to do is if there was 8 altogether and we've eaten 3, how many are left? This is a takeaway sum, and a lot of children don't get that. A lot of children just think, oh, I thought there was something totally different. I didn't realise it was takeaway. So the answer is 5 out of 8 slices left there on the pizza. Okay, so that's how to explain what a fraction is. Okay, we're going to go on to the numerator and the denominator. And I always also say to the kids, don't be scared of those words. They're mathematical words. Just as we've worked out that fractions is a mathematical word for a slice or a piece or a part or a bit, the numerator and the denominator are also just mathematical words that we use to talk about the numbers in a fraction. So how do we, sometimes they get confused about which one is which, and here's just a really easy way. I just say to them, the denominator starts with a d and it goes down at the bottom of the fraction. All right, then you don't really need to know what the numerator is because you know, because if it's not the one at the bottom, it has to be the one at the top. But I sometimes say it's the number of pieces that are taken away or shaded. But if you remember that the denominator goes down, that's enough to know. Okay, now we're going to move on to finding a fraction of an amount. Now these are sometimes expressed like this: find a quarter of 12, a fifth of 30, find a seventh of 28. Now I will guarantee that most children, when they see these kind of sums, will go, I don't know what these are, no, I have no idea what this is talking about, how can you find a quarter, I don't even know what a quarter is, etc. Go into a blind panic, and it's very, very common and it's totally natural. But light bulb moment, what I want them to know is that it's actually just division. Okay, now they may also struggle with division, but once they know that this is a division, the concept of division, then it actually makes it also much easier for them to do. Because what you're asking here, for example, in this one, let's just look at this one. We want to find a quarter of 12. So what's it actually asking us? It's asking, what is it actually about? It's saying that you've got 12 Maltesers and we want to find a quarter of them. We're splitting those 12 Maltesers into 4 equal groups. Now, when we split equally, we divide. So you're dividing 12 by 4. And our answer then is 3. So a quarter of 12 is 3. Now, we can check that because if you do 4 times 3, that will get 12. All right, just makes it a little bit easier for them sometimes to use everyday objects to get the concept of it, because for a child and for a lot of us adults who are not used to it, haven't done it for years, the concept of a fifth of something or an eighth of something is really hard to get your head round. So let's go to this one. Here we are looking to find a fifth of 30. So once you've maybe explained a couple of them, I would get them to explain to you. Say, can you tell me what this is asking us? It could be 30 anything. So let's say we've got 30 bananas and we've got 5 gorillas. We want to know if we had our 30 bananas and we were splitting them into a fifth. How much is a fifth? So you're going to divide 30 by 5 and your answer is 6. And then to bring that back all together, you would say that means that each of the gorillas will get 6 bananas. That's what it means. If we're splitting, if each gorilla gets a fifth of the bananas, each gorilla will get 6. All right, and our last one, because sometimes if you're anything like me, it takes a couple of times to sink in. The last one we're going to look at is a 7th of 28. Same thing. This time we have got 28 Lego figures, and we want to find a 7th of them. That's because you have 7 people that want to share those 28 Lego figures. So you're dividing 28 by 7, and our answer is 4. That means each of the 7 people, or in each group of the 7 groups, there will be 4 Lego figures. And you can go back and check 7 times 4 equals 28. Now, I'm conscious that I'm at 10 minutes and I don't want to make any more of my videos 10 minutes longer, really. So tomorrow we will move on to the next bit, but I hope that's cleared up some things for now. Okay, so bye for now.